As you say farewell, Alfred moving off to his storefront and apartment entrance. Callum heading back to his tenement. Terrence is left on a busy sidewalk as the trolley and the traffic move by and the snow gently starts to fall.
Yeah, I'm no good right now. I gotta get a couple hours of shut eye. So I'm gonna head back to my apartment. If it's too far to walk, and I'll take the trolley there. But I just need to get some shut eye for a couple hours. Intention to go
All
home,
right.
wind up my little alarm clock, and set it for maybe like, gosh, what time is it now? It's not that early. It's still not that late in the day. At all. So maybe like 3 hours, so 3 4 hours. It's just enough of a nap to get myself a little bit set.
Okay.
And I can head down to the paper and man, I should call Driscoll, but I don't know. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, the consultant. It's got a real name.
He does. He does have
Yeah,
a real name,
yeah.
which is Edward Call, as in
Hmm.
call, right?
Yeah. I
Who a number
think
of years ago was disgraced, but the details of that.
not immediately apparent to me. Yeah. All right. So yes, that's my intention first, just to get my shut eye. No, not a long time, just enough to kind of get my head straight for bed. Had the coffee, had a little bit too much whiskey for 5 in the morning. I don't want another donut. I've had eggs. I've had burnt toast. Yeah.
Okay. As you make your way across town back to your home, the city doesn't look any different. Right? Newspaper boys are screaming out the headlines, right? And none of those headlines contain anything like, you know, the war between the two different criminal organizations to control the docks. Right? Doesn't talk about abductions of socialites or murder or dead men rising from the grave. Nothing, right? There's a terrible image of a black cloud of dust, right, ripping across the central U.S. as the depredations out there, as the drought continues, eradicating farms. Not very exciting headlines.
Yeah.
People are going to
Good. Yeah.
work. That's all.
Yeah.
Back at your place, nothing has been disturbed either.
Excellent. Excellent. I don't know what I would do if I found something like just had enough of this. That's enough. That would be enough. So yeah, head up and just take a bit of a nap. 4 hours. When I get that back down to the paper relatively early, maybe by 2 o'clock or so.
Okay. Now you are tired and you've been through a lot. And so, what I'd like you to do is roll percentile dice for me, please.
Okay, I'll do that. 20.
Pardon?
20, 20.
Oh. Well then. It is maybe fortunate, maybe unfortunate for you that as you drift off into sleep to the ticking of the clock and the street noises from outside, that you are gripped by a nightmare. At first, it's difficult to figure out where you are. But what is happening is easy to see because someone is extending a hand, reaching it out to you desperately as they're being dragged away. They're clawing and scratching, they're screaming, almost inarticulate with fear. And they're being dragged away from you. And as it's a dream, this is happening over and over and over again. Dragged away until they are gone. Then they're back, dragged away until they're gone. Then they're back, dragged away until they are gone. Over and over again. Leaving you as the alarm rings with a sense that you are in Eddie's office.
As kids, our mothers told us that if we did what we were told, stayed out of trouble, and looked to good men and women as role models to better ourselves, we could achieve the American dream. It's hard not to wonder now as the drought eats the heart out of the country and the dust delivers black blizzards and poor men beg for food while rich men fall from the sky. Did they know they were lying? Broken families, broken dreams, broken promises, moments of charity, holding off starvation for another day so that suffering can carve deeper marks in the rag-clad children of destitute parents cowering in confusion in the shadows of well-heeled shot callers for the gangsters and politicians with the police taking money from both to keep the peace. Keep your nose clean. Keep it to the grindstone. Keep it out of others' business. The words of our mothers echo down the streets lined with ragged folk with tin cups praying for soup. Can anyone turn this free fall into flight? Is there an answer out there that brings sense to madness? Or do we keep swimming our way toward Asculum?
Oh, it's a sick son of a bitch. I was looking around. Presumably in my own room, unless I'm not.
It's still your room.
Okay. Oh, bitch. All right. Enough of that. I'm gonna make quick work of whatever toilet I need to do, and just wash my face, put on some fresh clothes if I've got them, and head on down to the
fresh enough.
fresh enough. I head on down to the paper.
Okay.
It was a freaking worst 4 hours of sleep I ever got.
Yeah. Feet are dragging. tired, little hungry. Prices have been going up as we get through the end of fall and toward the beginning of winter.
Right.
But
I grab the cheapest roll or something like that I can find on the walk from my place to the paper.
sure.
And try to avoid the editor and anybody like that, and just head on down to the vault.
Right. Usually, the lines at these stalls, especially around the newspaper district, it's always a line, or as you were coming up, there's always a line. People drinking coffee and, having a sausage or whatever, a bagel. But these lines are incredibly short, and the vendors are, bundled up against the cold, and not even really with the energy to brush the snow off their signs. The snow has accumulated a little bit since you went to sleep. As you come into the post's office, there's still that normal hustle and bustle and energy and people shouting and screaming and
yeah, I'm just going to try to interact with other people as little as possible, other than like a brief hello or anything that's polite. But I'm just going to try to get as fast as possible down to the vault itself, where I can just do some research and hopefully be uninterrupted.
All right. Well, of
Or
course,
at least
it's down in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not going to be the warmest place.
So the building isn't shaking with the print press yet. The newspaper is still being envisioned this early in the day, right? So when you get down into the tombs with its rows and rows and rows of filing cabinets and file card boxes, right? The quiet is a little shocking, right? Not many people down here. You know that there will be one gentleman down here whose name is not Errol, but everyone calls him Errol.
Like Errol Flynn?
Like Errol Flynn.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I'm heading to him because I feel like I'm going to need a little bit of help, or at least like a little bit of guidance. And I'm going to do this.
So you catch sight of him down at the end of this long line of filing cabinets, and he's leaning heavily on what people call his sword, which is of course a cane. All right, he's cruelly bent over, very, very arthritic, swollen joints in his hands. And he's moving with the opposite of nimbleness and grace, but with a great deal of tenacity. He's making his way down the line to file some detail away.
Errol, how goes it?
As you might expect, you stink. You been drinking?
Not any time recently.
What do you want?
Need your help. I've got I'm working on a story and it's convoluted as all get out.
Sounds good.
Yeah, might be up your alley. You remember that guy Edward Call? Used to be a physician.
Oh, yes. I remember Dr. Edward Call. I'm innocent, he says.
Exactly. I need to find out, like, whatever we got on him, what his history is. I mean, not in the way you would think. I'm not trying to get him convicted. He's already been disgraced, although I'm not sure what the details are on that, although that might be interesting. But I want to know if he's got any other kind of past, any connection to anything unusual. Has he been out of the country? especially the
That's an
weird parts
interesting
of
question.
call, weird ports of call, something.
Come back into my office.
All right.
So you painfully and slowly make your way down to his office. Sit
Yeah.
down. I can tell you a lot about Edward Call. And then you're going to find the rest of the scandal in the C-section in 1928,
Got that down.
if I remember. Later
What I
part of
can
the year, I
handle.
think. But Dr.
Alrighty,
Edward
alrighty.
Call was very successful, beloved family physician who got tied up with an organization that was called the something something Silver Twilight. Some kind
Not
of
ringing a
like, you
bell.
know, like the Masons.
Right.
And, you know, charity events and social dues, you know, and tied in with the mayor and you know, other big names, you know, the Gavigans and that sort.
Right.
So this Silver Twilight thing just seemed like any other, you know, like the Shriners, any other fraternal organization, until it turns out that they had been abducting people. And some new inductees stumbled across this guy, you know, that they were holding prisoner. And the story is pretty convoluted. You will need to look it up. But anyway, there was a fire and large sections of their clubhouse burned down. And this is the kind of story that's, he's like poking you with the cane, like right up your alley.
Yeah.
Just like you said.
Yeah.
Weird,
You know, it's
no damn good to anybody.
I love you, Errol. You want a bagel or something?
I'm starving. They don't
All
let
right.
me out of here, you know.
All
I
right.
got a cot in the
let me
corner. Feed me on scraps,
go.
crackers, saltines.
I'll get you better. I'll get you better. You deserve it.
So yeah, Dr. Call was a member, and high enough member that he should have known better. Was he involved? Was he not involved? And nothing was ever proven in court. You understand?
Right.
But in the court of our
Public
readers' opinions,
mm-hmm.
that was the end of his practice. And it came out during the trial that he was related to a certain family who's now become beloved of the people of Boston for the liquid joy that they bring to the streets.
Wouldn't have to be Irish by any chance, would they?
Well, I think that would be some kind of prejudicial comment.
Well, yeah, I did happen to have a chat with him and Rory O'Shaughnessy in the same room, so I'm guessing we might be on the same page. And after all, listen to me, I'm a Mick. Look at my name, McSweeney. Where do you think the word Mick came from? All right. So then,
anybody can change their name.
Yeah, not me. But listen, that's helpful. I'll look, at least to give me an idea where to look. What about the name Morgan, specifically in regards to any kind of crime family?
That doesn't ring any bells.
No other way? That's strange.
I mean, there's lots of Morgans.
Yeah. Well, that could have just been a pseudonym the guy was using. All right. Well, let me
But just because I don't remember doesn't mean that there's nothing. But you're going to have to be specific. You know, this is.
There's a warehouse, at least
places.
At least one warehouse on the docks. Probably last 6 months, last year maybe. Let's just say a certain Irish family might have had control over it. Now they don't. And the fellows that
Oh
are there
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of, but the fellows that are there, kind of odd looking. They just stand out in the crowd. You notice them right away. Tattoos all over the place. At least a couple of them look like that.
I don't know anything about that. I haven't seen anything like that. That sounds really interesting. That sounds like a story you should do. Uh,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
no, the couple of your peers have been trying to file reports about missing persons.
Really?
Yeah, in that area, that's why it rings a bell. Lots of people missing persons, but
Nobody
his
interesting?
nibs upstairs
Yeah.
feels that, well, of course people are missing. They're leaving, looking for work. I mean, like, so it's no big surprise. It's not a story. It's too depressing. Uh, but also, I heard, this is just a rumor, so don't spread it around. But I heard that the police came by and asked us not to talk about it. It's an ongoing investigation.
Really? Hmm.
I don't know if that
Well, that
helps you at
makes.
all, or if it sends you in the wrong direction. But
Who knows? Who knows? But I could tell you this. You know, the police are more or less in the pockets of the O'Shaughnessy's, at least from what I can see. You know, and that public's afraid of them. Either afraid of them or they're happy they're here. They get their supply of bathtub gin, but they're
I
scared of
think
these other guys,
these
and that
these
scares me.
Morgans.
Yeah, or whoever they really are. But they scare them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
You know, I heard that like since that Ness guy nailed Capone back in the spring, since then the Treasury Department has been sending agents out to set up shop independently, like Ness did.
Really?
Yeah, so I heard that there's a unit in Boston, and they're really interested in the O'Shaughnessy's.
Get out. That's a good angle too. That's a good angle too. All right, I'm gonna get you that bagel, and I'm gonna get to work here, see if I can find anything out.
McSweeney, get me two.
You got it. You got it. So I go up spend what little money I have left. That should be for my dinner. Grabbing a couple bagels for Errol, who has definitely earned his keep, at least in
All
my
right.
world.
He thanks you kindly, and while you were gone, he has dug up records that prove what he told you about Dr. Edward Call, that you'd be able to cite them in your article when you write
Right.
it. This includes a stock photo that they have from some event. It's not a good photo, but it's enough to recognize that Dr. Edward Call is definitely the consultant that you met.
Right. Yeah, and I just want to look up for anything else. If you go into that section of 1928 and see if I can pull up any other information of anything just to link them. Because I still got this hunch. It's something weird. He knows too much. He knows too much weird esoteric crap. So I'm just looking at anything about him. If I can look at see if anything about the Silver Twilight. Just see what I can.
So if you look
find
through
out
the
about all this
files
stuff.
that he gave, it's a lot of different handwritten notes on file cards, and they're all indexed in numbers in various ways to indicate that there's a reference to a place, or there's a reference to other people, and different topics that might be of value to another article, right? So it's easy to sort through them, but at the same time, if they're very small, very dense, often handwritten
Right.
notes or annotated with handwriting. So it does take time to get through this information. But the silver twilight that stuck in his memory is the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight, which sprang up seemingly out of nowhere early in the 20s. There's no other references to it before then. There are numerous articles that are written about it based on things that they did, social activities that they carried out. Whether it's just a notation, like a list of sponsors or a list of donors, right? They might be on it. And things like advertisements when they're having an open house to recruit new members.
Right.
And lifestyle type articles. There are connections, various famous people, doctors, lawyers, politicians, the wealthy elite that don't seem to have an occupation, right? Including both Edward and Albert Gavigan.
That makes sense.
And reading through this, give me an idea roll, please.
Yeah, okay. Which is intelligence? No, wait, idea. See, I got it. It doesn't have anything to do with power, does it?
No.
Thank goodness. Okay, 38 versus 60.
Okay. Reading through these notes about the Silver Twilight and the various people that are mentioned, right? The fire, the scandal, the revelation that they were holding prisoners and all of this stuff starts the expose or the scandal into kind of occult activities, right? And a lot of scorn, a lot of scandal. Like what do they think they're a bunch of wizards and whatnot, and
Right.
Albert was considered low-ranking enough in the Silver Twilight to escape public scorn. It was just, well, he's never been in trouble for anything else, right? There are no scandals with women. There's no scandals with strange drugs or too much alcohol or gambling or hanging out with racketeers or any of these things, right? He's otherwise clean. He just didn't know what he was up to. Edward had already disappeared by then, away on one of his trips, which puts, the last time really Edward Gavigan appears in the newspaper is at a Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight function in 1926.
Huh. Oh. You actually ever seen this guy? Since 1926?
He's not been in the papers or been involved in anything in the papers.
Right.
Since really his activity is 1925, and there's mentions of him in 1926. The last photo of him in the files dates to 1924.
Huh. That's strange. That's really strange. I want to go to the nearest phone. See if maybe I can get Driscoll on the horn if he's not dead or dead tired.
Okay.
Go through the usual gyrations, see if I
Right. So you have to
Hopefully
talk
there's
to
a
the
phone.
operator. Right.
Yeah, I have to use hopefully I can just use a phone in the post itself, so I don't have to actually spend any of my own money.
Yeah. Right. And you explain who you want to talk to, and you are connected, but she informs you that there's no answer at that number.
Oh crap! He's probably out. Oh, hopefully just out sleep. Who the hell else can I talk to about this? Well, I don't know how many more bagels I can keep buying. I'm just gonna before I do anything else, before I like go contact Smalls or Cal. I don't think Cal will know. I'm gonna trundle back down to Arrow.
What kind of hellish sin have I committed to run into you twice in one day?
You must have had one hell of a past life. One hell of a past life.
Well, look at me. I must have.
We should all look that good by that time. If I look half as
You
good
might
as you,
not like where flattery will get you, young man.
it's okay. It's gotten me, hasn't gotten me that far with dames even, so I'm used to it. Let me ask you a really strange question.
Okay.
Has anybody actually ever seen Edward Gavigan since 1926, 1925? There's no mention of him in the papers anywhere. Nothing.
Well, he went on some trip or something, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Where the hell did he go?
You've
Or did he
got the
come back?
file.
All right. I'll look up some more on this one. I figured I'd ask. I tried to ask a friend that might have actually seen him. You know, that gets
I
out
don't
of
I don't
dungeons
move
like
in
this.
those circles, Terrence. Why don't you go out to the Gavigan estate and inquire, excuse me, have you mislaid one of your sons?
How do you think that's going to go? I'd like to be able to live to write this story, if you don't mind.
I don't know, I'd kind of like to hear the story of what happens.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to be sorely disappointed because I'm not about to do that just yet. Not yet. Jeez.
Well, look, I'm about to leave. I know I say I stay down here all the time, but you've been kind. Do you want to go get dinner? We can talk about the Gavigans.
Let's do that. Let's do that. I might even buy you a bowl of soup.
That would be awesome. That would be excellent. That would be most appreciated. I'll buy the crackers. You buy the soup.
Okay, that's fine. I guess tomorrow's dinner is gone too, because that's the money I'm spending. So we will go to the nearest cheap establishment of his choice.
Well, on a day like this, cold and damp, it was all foggy and icy last night, which turned into snow today, and all the windows of all the places are steamed up.
Gotcha. That works. That works. So
We'll just pause for station identification.
no, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
It was very cold here in my house. I was making sure the wood stove's still on, which it is. That's good. But it's very,
Okay.
it's very, it gives me the right feel. I'm right there in cold Boston.
All right.
Works.
So you have to move quite slowly,
Right.
right? Because he's really obviously in a lot of pain. The cold isn't making it any better. He's not a big man to begin with, right? Quite spindly and maybe older than he looks, right? So as you're moving through the thin scum of snow on the sidewalk and slush and a little bit of ice, it's just awkward to walk. And you're coming up to a place that's renowned for a large, hearty bowl, fresh from the sea, chowder.
That sounds like the place. That sounds like the place.
and you are tapped on the shoulder.
Turn around.
Right behind you, large as life, but looking like he's in his 20s, is Mickey the Fist.
Oh, Jesus.
Sanity check.
Yeah.
And in the diner is an expostulation by our young man who says, "It's Mickey, but he's young." Spraying chowder across his chin in front of Alfred Smalls.
Okay, so I got a 39, so I failed my best. But it can't be Mickey. Or well, hey, that wasn't it. There's a lot of atrocities. It's got to be.
So as you're gawping in his face, right? Alfred, looking out the window, sees a man, right, accosting Terrence. And by accosting, I mean looping a sick right hand toward the reporter's face.
Good heavens! And I'm sitting with the young hood, right?
Yes. The polite
right.
young hood. The hoodlum.
The hoodlum, yes. All right. All right. I will. Alfred will say, "Good heavens, my friend is being assaulted out there," and he'll do his best to get up out of the booth, and probably upset everything.
Do you want me to? He's just dumbfounded. He's standing up and sitting down at the same time. He's going for his gun. He's looking at the, like he can't seem to get in motion.
I've got to help my friend. I'm gonna lumber forward, just using the force of my own momentum as just propelling me, not even realizing what this could lead to. This is very unlike Mr. Smalls is up to this point, but he will steamroll forward. Keep your hands to yourself, young man.
So you're bellowing and screaming as you move through the diner, right? People are spinning around on their stools, and coffee's being spilled, and women are going, "Oh my!" And, and then the waitress is trying not to spill the coffee as she tries to get out of your wake, and the young man is trailing behind you, trying to get in front as the fist slams Terrence into the side of your head.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Delivering 3 points. Now you feel the cold bite of metal on your cheek. You feel the skin tear, right? And stars spray across your vision. Your balance rocks. It's almost like your ear touches your shoulder from the force of it. And without good footing, right, that brings that dizzy tenseness of trying to be all places at once to prevent like the inevitable fall. And Errol, of course, is right there too, and you don't want to collide with him.
Right. Yeah. That's my main concern, is making sure he doesn't get hurt.
Would you like to be hit again, or do you want to do something?
No, I mean, I'm going to try to defend myself as much as possible. I mean, I'm not trying to treat it like, Jesus, calm down, man. Come on, let me buy you a cup of coffee. Let's talk. I don't know what beef you got with me, or.
I want you to come with me.
For what?
Because I want it, and what I want, I'll have.
That's all seeing you.
What?
That's all. I mean, Eddie Call. That's Eddie Call seeing you. We were just talking about you the other day. Earlier today. He was really interested in how you've been doing.
I'm fine, as you can see.
Yeah, but he didn't seem to think so. And so was Rory was concerned about you too.
So you know where he is then?
I don't know where he is right now, but you know where his office is, don't you?
Oh. He's at his consulting office.
Well, he might be. Last time I saw him, he was, but that was hours ago.
He hits the chest of the punk that's with him. Who runs off? Now, by this time, the door has flown open. An immense, belligerent customer who transforms into Alfred Smalls makes his way out into the sidewalk.
Hands off my friend, you hoodlum.
Oh, good Lord. I must be Muhammad.
Well, if you're Mohammed, then I'm the mountain, and I say hands off my friend. That is uncivilized behavior.
Now
You
he's looking
stop
around.
that right now. You should
He's
be
looking around.
ashamed of yourself.
Well,
Acting
I'm
like
not.
that. Well, you should be, young man. Shame on you, laying hands on people like that.
And he pops you one in the kisser.
All right.
However,
I will.
it's clear his intent, right? Like a manly man is to belt you one in the face, but it
Right.
lands on your heavily padded chest.
Yes. What? No one's hit me in 20 years. And I'll pop
Yeah,
him
it-
back.
In the meantime, let me be clear. In the meantime, I am telling Errol, I'm like, motion Errol, get in the time, get in the time. Okay. Just get up the street. Get up the street.
So you're hustling Errol in the diner, and
Yeah, exactly,
Smalls
yeah.
hauls off to pound Mickey.
Right. Takes a little work. And yeah, let's see. Fist
Good luck.
punch. 50%.
Woo.
Whoa.
35.
All right.
And let's see. 1d3 plus nothing, because I'm not very strong. I'm big,
At least
but
you're
not
huge.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly just blundering forward with a pudgy fist just flailing.
And inertial mass, man. Don't mess
Yeah,
with it.
right. 1 point of damage is he'll just kind of take that. Come on now.
He
You're a big
returns
man
fire.
roughing up a man of the press on the sidewalk.
He returns fire. Delivering 4.
Ugh.
Pow! It's a good short punch
All right.
right on the chin.
Let's see. Okay. All right. At this point, I will start bellowing for the police. Police! Police! I've been assaulted! Police!
So he looks.
I just-
He
That's
catches
good.
sight of Terrence in the door. On all the people who are looking through the glass. You know, this hasn't gone the way he has imagined, and he turns tail.
All right. I'll scrape up a snowball and throw it at him. You better run, coward!
So you can see, the fury rising, but for some reason he's fleeing the field of battle.
25% throw with a snowball.
As he
With
ducks
lots
around
of-
the corner,
Lots of slushy ice packed in.
you catch him on the back of the head with the snowball.
31 off of oh no, I don't. I only have a 25, so it doesn't go very far. It just kind of plop,
Yeah. Oh, I
lands
thought
in
the
this.
25 was the roll. Oh, okay.
No. 31 was the roll. 25 is the score. So it just kind of, it's more passion than accuracy. It's just, it just sort of plopped by the lamppost, you know.
But it doesn't matter because as I'm like getting Errol into the diner, I'm like just transfixed watching Alfred Smalls throw a snowball at Eddie the Fist, just or Mickey the Fist, like Mickey the Fist, like I can't believe it. I've seen it.
Now,
all.
trying to get out of the diner is one of the O'Shaughnessy mobsters from the other night. Right, so he's receiving Errol as you're trying to guide him in, right? But he's trying to get out to be with Smalls, like Mr. Smalls, Mr. Smalls.
I say, hey, listen. I'm on the ground. Listen. And you're looking up right at the mobster, Says, listen. Forget everything else. I think Carl might be in trouble. The consultant. Go make sure he's okay.
So he looks around. He goes up to a waitress. He's gathering his wits, right? And he whispers in her ear, and she points, and he ducks out the front. He's like, "Stay there, Mr. Smalls. I'm just gonna make a call."
Oh yes. And I'll kind of my chest, my gut hurts from that punch. That was a powerful punch. So I am kind of feeling that, but I'll kind of put on a brave face and I'll look up at the shocked citizens. I'll say, "That's what you say to street hooliganism. You don't put up with it."
There's clapping and applause.
Yeah.
So I'm taking my handkerchief out and putting it up to my face and kind of motion that Smalls might want to do the same. So
I'm
dinner?
all right.
Are you finished with dinner? We were just about to get some.
No, this rakah has really made me hungry. We should sit and have some more to eat.
Yeah, come on, Errol. This is Mr. Smalls.
Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Alfred Smalls, my name, and you say your name is Mr. Errol?
No, the jokers at the paper like to call me Errol on account of my sword here.
Oh, well, you do cut a dashing figure.
It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Sells. My actual name, not that any of these reporters have ever asked, is Carter. Alexander Carter.
That's a fine old Bostonian name. I think that maybe, do you have family up Arkham Way? There's some Carters up there on the North Shore.
If my mother told me the truth, then yes.
No kidding. Well, good for you. It's nice to make your acquaintance, Mr. Carter. Well, let's go have something to eat. This whole business it's made me quite ready for another breakfast.
I've heard stories about
What's that, Terrence?
It's 7 o'clock at night there.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
It's dark. It's dark.
I lost all sense of time there. When you get physical like that, you just everything just takes over. So you've got to. But you're right. It is rather late in the day, and I'm.
The waitress comes over and she pats you on the shoulder and says, "Are you feeling okay? Do you need extra crackers?"
Well, that would be wonderful, my good lady. Yes, please. Thank you. We'll take whatever you have. Crackers, some chowder for friends here.
She hands a towel filled with ice cubes to Terrence.
Thanks, hon. Thanks.
She gives you a wink. You took that punch like a champ. Nice of you to
Thanks.
worry about your friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And she moves off to get your order. Conversation in the diner is mainly about what the men would have done had it happened to them to impress the ladies that they're with.
So
and that's about it. And a few minutes later, the young hoodlum returns, looking pretty upset.
Oh yes, let me introduce my young friend here. This is Mr. Tom O'Riordan. He's an associate of well, I'll let Tom speak for himself, but he's a fine young gentleman.
I've been looking out for Mr. Smalls today. I guess that wasn't really necessary based on what we just saw.
Oh,
Well-
so they got a guard. So Call's got a guard on you, huh?
Oh, more like a fine, able companion. He's a nice young man.
You didn't give me a guard.
Well, I suppose you don't live as dangerous a life as I do you?
No.
You just take me, take up.
No,
Ed, what was
Mr.
that? Were you
Mr.
being robbed?
Mr. McSweeney, there was a guard for you too, for each of you.
I never saw mine.
Where did you go?
I went home. I took a nap, and then I went to the paper.
Oh, this isn't good. There's no one answering at the consulting firm. There's no one answering at the doc's house.
Jeez, I called Driscoll before too. Nobody was answering there either.
Driscoll, he doesn't have a phone.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, so you called the doc's office. So there's no answer.
Yeah. Ain't nobody over there. That's not good. That's not good at all. And I was going to talk to our friend Alexander. Hear about some more about the. Well, I guess that's a little bit moot right now, but you're damned if that didn't look just like Mickey the Fist.
That was Mickey.
Yeah, but Mickey ain't that young, and the last time I saw Mickey, he wasn't looking that good.
So what does that mean?
You know that street hoodlum?
Yeah, that was well, no, it couldn't be, but it looked an awful lot like Mickey the Fist. I was trying to say, an associate of this young man.
He's pretty high in the family.
Yeah.
You've seen it. You've seen him in the paper 100 times, I'm sure, Mr. Smalls.
Perhaps, but what in the world would he be doing, running up to you, Terrence, accosting you outside of a diner?
Well, he said he wanted me to come with him, and I'm thinking to myself, even if this is a spitting image of Mickey, even if it's some relative of his, I'm just kind of like giving, I'm looking at O'Riordan and just kind of shrugging. He wanted me to come with him, and it wasn't but so long ago. We're with the doc, with the consultant, with Colin, and he wouldn't have had somebody come at me like that. So he looked like he was part of your, looking over O'Riordan, like your organization. I don't think he was working for him. Not now. If I knew any better, I'd say he's in with the Morgans or whatever their real name is. They got another name? I'm looking right at her.
Well, he's been missing. He's been missing for a while. We've been looking for him.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty sure I found him last night. Last time I saw him, he looked dead and a lot older.
Are you trying to say that the man that just accosted you outside was an older man who had passed away?
I do not want to start drinking again. Let's kind of look at Alexander Carter a little guiltily. What I'm saying is a fellow that looked an awful lot like that man, Mickey the Fist, the man in the papers. Last night, he was the guy I was talking about that looked dead. And then
at this point, Carter struggles to his feet and says, "Gentlemen, as good as this chowder is, this is not a conversation I can be part of."
Of course. Pardon us for speaking so so strangely like this. This is, well, it's, I'll struggle to my feet again. I'll shake his hand. It's a pleasure to meet you, even under such strange circumstances, Mr. Carter. Perhaps we can have a nice cup of coffee sometime and talk about better things.
Well, maybe it's nice to know that there are still some, knights in wool coats out there.
Huh.
And he starts laboring his way toward the door.
It's been many years since I tackled a schoolyard bully, but I've had my share of them in my day.
Well, geez, you gonna be okay getting home there, Errol?
I don't know. Probably die in the snow. See you tomorrow, Terrence.
See you tomorrow. I'm fighting the urge to go walk this fine fella home, and to just I think it's more important to chat with Smalls this exact moment.
I mean, we can, if you're genuinely worried about that gentleman's well-being, we could all bundle up and take our chowder to go, and make sure that he gets back with his own chowder, and then we can go back to my shop, and then we can sit in more privacy and talk there.
Yeah, let's do that. Hold up there. Hold up, Carter. And we promise I won't talk about any of this disturbing crap the whole rock home. So I'm just gonna make sure this fine fella gets home.
We should probably get some sandwiches too.
Yeah, get a yeah, good idea.
Sandwiches, some coffee. And
If Smalls is buying, I will let him buy for Carter. Yeah, that's not a problem.
yeah, I'll order a packet of sandwiches, like a big bag, a brown bag of sandwiches, and then maybe we can each have a tall paper cup of coffee, and some containers of chowder with some crackers and maybe some rolls to go with it. And
So they pack you a large basket.
Right.
right. A to-go basket. I'll tip
Some
the
of
waitress.
these items will need to be returned.
Hmm.
And the waitress reminds you that if you really want to take the chowder, you really need to bring your own pot.
Oh, of course.
But
Perhaps we could. All right. Well, fair enough, gentlemen. We've got our away kit. Now let us off to the escort Mr. Carter back to his residence or his place of business, and then we'll.
Obviously, in his condition, he doesn't have very far to go, right? And he's a little embarrassed, but he's also grateful to have the help.
I get him home. Leave him with some food.
Yep.
So, goodbye, gentlemen. Thank you.
Take care, Mr. Carter.
See you tomorrow.
His doors and his windows don't fit very well, and as he's going in, he's taking his coat off, but he's pulling on a big heavy sweater, and you can kind of get a glimpse inside the room of just this rickety, cot with a thin mattress, no paint on the walls. There's newspaper across the windows, and it's almost as cold inside as it is outside.
Suddenly I'm feeling a pang of almost guilt for having such a palatial shop with a 2-story place, no less, with the apartment upstairs, which is cozy. All the books and the knickknacks kind of insulate Smalls from the outside world. So suddenly my place seems like a mansion, by a warm mansion by comparison.
All right, maybe we should head over to Driscoll Investigations first before we head back to your place, just to see if anything's amiss. Nobody's answering the phone.
There's some relief on O'Riordan's face. Clearly, that's where his heart is.
Yeah, let's go. And if we can take a cab that way, we just do that, or if we have to walk, we'll walk. I think we should probably head over that way.
Seems like a long walk. Maybe we should take a cab.
If you're paying Smalls, that's fine. I just want to see how Eddie's doing, and
Uh, I'll pay.
All righty.
Well, that's very kind of you, Thomas.
So Thomas, the young man, he heads out into the street and he gets a taxi.
See, what a nice and able young man he is.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a while Thomas again. You ever hear anything about the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight? Ring a bell?
My goodness. What an amazing coincidence. Yes, I just learned of them. That very organization earlier today. I was doing research at the Boston Public Library.
Hey,
And
don't I'll tell you what, don't say anything in front of Tommy.
right,
But
right.
yeah, it seems that like our friend the consultant, Mr. Edward Call, was a member of that, as well as both Gavigans.
Hmm,
But somehow the plot thickens, if you will,
indeed, just like this chowder.
just like the chowder. I think we ought to compare notes after we make sure Eddie's all right.
Hmm.
Gosh, anybody heard from Cal? I'll give him a ring when we're over. When we get to a phone again.
Oh, your photographer friend. No, I've not heard from him.
Jeez, because if my guard disappeared, who knows what else happened?
Okay. So the taxi driver drops you off. O'Riordan pays. Gives the guy a tip to wait. And he asked the taxi driver to drop you off at the end of the street. Right. This dark, cold, snowed in street.
Hmm.
The snow
Right.
here is much deeper than the thin kind of annoyance that's falling on the rest of the places that you've been. But here in this sheltered street, there's even drifts up against the side of the street that Eddie's office is on, right? Which means there's almost none on the opposite side of the street.
Okay.
But no sign of traffic other than the cab itself. As it putters past you, and goes out the other end of the street.
I just got to close the door real quick. I'm listening. I'll just jump it up 1 second.
Yep.
And I'm gonna take out that little pea shooter, kind of look at Tommy, just in case.
Thank you.
And,
Sorry about
sort
that.
of put my hand on it, sort of conceal it in my jacket, but just in case things are, and look as if I might know how to use it.
Which is why he asks you, do you know how to use that thing?
Yeah. You wouldn't believe who I've shot at with this thing.
Shot at. You go first.
She's all right.
So wait
No
a minute. So
offense.
Terrence, you've got a gun. What do you got, a gun in your pocket now?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
Trust me, it's nothing.
All right.
It's mostly for show.
All right.
It's a gun.
All right. And I assume Alfred assumes that Tommy probably has a weapon. So kind of frowning, I'll just kind of clutch the satchel of food, ready to swing it like a weapon if I have to.
So there's a dusting of snow on the stairs, of course, the outside stairs. No sign of traffic in or out.
Try the door, see if it's locked or unlocked.
Door is not locked, and it's actually a little ajar.
Okay. So I just kind of give O'Riordan a look, and then look at the door, and then kind of go in and realizing there's no way I can go silently up those stairs.
None.
Zero.
Now, Smalls, as you're bringing up the rear with the food bag, the footsteps that Terrence and O'Riordan have left are filling with redness as the snow that they've compacted presses down.
All right, I will gasp, and I'll reach out to whoever's in the. That would be Tommy's in the middle. Look at that, and I'll point down to their treads.
Right, so he scuffs to the side, you know, and he's looking all around. He looks down.
See, look.
Yes.
There's blood on the steps. I don't know if you want to keep going at this point, or what do we do?
He draws an automatic with a cavernous hole in its business end. Says, "I'll go first."
Yeah, I was about to look up so you go first, but yeah.
So he pushes the door open. Says, "There's blood all down the stairs, all across the landing here."
Jesus. Well, come on, let's go.
Wait. And then he's violently ill.
Okay.
So he's in the doorway, right? He just like leaned in, told you to wait. You know, his hands outside the building, his head and shoulders are inside the building, and he's retching his guts out on the inside lobby, and then he pulls his head back, closes the door, and says, "You don't want to go in there."
Yeah, what is it? What is it?
Then he rushes to the side of the stairs, and he's heaving into the snow off the side of the stairwell. The door is unblocked if you'd like to go check.
Yeah. And look, it's like small. So you got a match or anything?
That would probably be a luck roll, because Smalls is not a smoker. So,
Not
but
a
he
smoker.
might. Nope, not a smoker. But you never know. He might have a match. But Anthony, if it's okay with you, I'll just make a luck roll
check.
to see if
Yeah, check.
just to see if he might. Yeah, 22 off of a 60 luck. So maybe he's got like half a box of
Yeah, sure.
little matches for this and that around the shop. So here you go.
I'm gonna strike a match and hold it so it doesn't blow out, you know. And then lean in there, take a look.
Let's hope it's not a gas leak.
As he described, there are, there's congealed, but, runnels of blood down the stairs. It's obvious, right, in the light of the match. And a pool of it at the base of the stairs. But what bothered O'Riordan so much is that there's an indiscriminate pile of shredded pieces of what once were men. Discarded in one corner is the head of one of the men, the man from the running board.
Yeah.
A torso, a shoulder, a hand. Torn apart like you might tear apart a dinner roll.
Just kind of scanning for Eddie or Mr. Call, just in case. If I can
Not
even
that you
identify.
recognize in the pieces here.
Yeah.
And I would like you to roll percentile, please.
Yeah. 61.
Okay. 2 points, please.
Okay. Excellent.
What do you see, Terrence? What's going on?
Jesus, it's bad. It's bad. Something ripped most of these monsters apart.
Good heavens.
You know why not? It's holy Jesus. I didn't.
There's some dizziness. There's some discomfort. There's a physical reaction to sight and the smell.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Driscoll? Is he
I I'm like kind of like shut the door. I was like, I couldn't see him. We gotta call the cops.
yes, his office is further in, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, Jesus.
You want me to go first?
No. I'll go first. It's like putting this ineffectual pea shooter back, whatever spot I put it.
The smell of the clam chowder wafting into your nose now is mixing with the stink of half frozen corpses, viscera.
Blood, yeah. Blood and stool, great. Okay.
Yep.
And fresh vomit. All right, wonderful.
And dinner rolls.
God damn it. So,
Yep. Stomach is flip flopping.
yeah, I'm gonna strike another match, and it's like, all right, Smalls, just try to concentrate on the stairs. Nothing you really need to see.
Is there electric? Do we need a match, or can we just like turn on the switch?
In the consultant's office, maybe. Not here, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think he was paying the electric bill for the entire place. Look, Tom, are you coming?
Okay.
Anything to shoot.
Okay, I'll go first. It's just
All right,
I know these guys.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. And I put my hand on the shoulders, like I get it. Yeah, just look straight ahead. Don't look down. Keep your wits about you.
He checks his piece, looks at you both, nods his head, kind of too roughly kicks open the door and starts moving thunderously up the stairs. Right. He's not running, but it just sounds so loud.
Yeah.
He's sticking mainly to the side where the stairs are drier. He hesitates near the top. He goes, there's another one here.
Alfred can't help but look, even though he was told not to look. He's, this is the grim reality of where we are. He's going to look, despite his better angels telling him not to.
Roll your percentile.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 78 off of well, I got a 78. Which if that's a sanity, that's a failed sanity roll.
Take 2.
Okay.
And again, the body reacts.
Yeah.
It was a flinch response, and heart starts to pound, and
yeah,
it's unnatural. The mind wants to sort the body back into the correct order, and yet not all of these parts belong to that head that's staring right at you. The gentleman who asked O'Riordan when you offered him a donut, like, what are you doing? Why are you taking a donut from this guy? Right? He doesn't have that kind of pissed off look anymore. He just looks curious. He's staring right at you.
Yep. All right. Well, Miss Small's mind will flash back to reports of the Great War from when he was a bit younger, Smalls is 42, so he would have been, and I'm going to say his great girth and his puny strength, he was overlooked for the draft. He was not fit. You know what I mean? He may have even made a
Overlooked.
yes, he might have even made a perfunctory visit to the draft office, but was quickly dismissed. But he remembers reading the stories of the trench warfare and the woods at Verdun and sort of, mechanized warfare, and hearing the reports, and sort of, so now he's looking at this and he's like, this is the horror of, of the real horror of the mortal condition. And so all that bravery and bravado in front of the delicatessen suddenly, pales in comparison to what was done to these people, and he'll just, sort of shake his head. Poor devils. Poor devils.
A few hours ago, these men were vital, full of life, massive, muscled, huge. People got out of their way whenever they went somewhere. They bent over backwards to help them. They pointed a finger and people jumped. Now, this one man's quizzical head is resting on torn flesh with the remains of his vital fluids seeping into discarded bills and eviction notices. You hear O'Riordan's footsteps overhead as he carefully makes his way across the loose floorboards towards the front of the building and Eddie's office.
Come, Terrence, let's not dwell on this for too long. It's already shook me to my core. We must forge ahead. And we can't leave young Tommy up there by himself. Who knows? There could be some danger still up there. We've got to be together. We've got to be a unified front. Come, let's go. We're coming up, Thomas. Clomp, 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 clomp.
I will go first.
Okay. See,
at the top of the stairs, like Tommy said, there is another body. It's mostly together. But its clothing is ripped. Its shoulders pulled physically out of the socket and the flesh. The body is broken and crumpled and folded in places in which it shouldn't normally bend. It's face down. If you've seen this person before, you don't recognize them by their nearly identical clothing. You have to make a large step over the body to go either way, to the consultant's office or to Eddie's.
I know Reardon's heading towards Eddie's. I'm gonna head to the consultant's office. I'll wait.
Right. Reardon's at the door, and you can see in the dim light, coming through the front windows where the signs, Eddie Driscoll, confidential investigations is written. There are numerous bullet holes in the plaster of the wall, and Eddie's glass window inset in his door is shattered, and the consultant's door is open and mostly torn off its hinges.
Yeah, I'm gonna flick on the lights if they still work.
The light comes on, but the quality of light is red, and there's a sizzling sound of cooking blood as soon as the bulb starts to heat up.
Looking up at it.
Jets and sprays from the gentleman scattered in pieces across the floor in here.
Yeah.
And huddled under the collapsed bookcase that you and Eddie had moved is Eddie, all wrapped up.
I'm like run up to him and grab his shoulder. Eddie, what the hell happened?
You'd never believe me. Never in a million years. You gotta get me
I
out
look
of
at him
here.
like, I think I believe you. I think I believe you. It's where's Call? Is he still here? Where's the consultant?
He just points.
I'm looking in that direction.
There's a hand not too far from Eddie with a recognizable silver signet.
Yeah. Jesus.
The
Yeah, we're
smell
gonna get
is
you out of here.
really overwhelming
We're gonna get you out of
in
here.
this room. He's just whispering it again. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna get you out of here in a second. We're gonna get you out of here. Don't worry.
I
Get you
couldn't
out of
see
here.
it. I couldn't see it.
Could see
I could
what?
see them, but not it.
Jeez. All right, I need to do two things as fast as I can. And grab my handkerchief and grab this hand and hold it down and pull this ring off that finger. Just throw it in my pocket. And then I'm going to go up to the consultant's phone, see if I can make a call.
Okay. Well, it's, like the furniture has been scattered around.
Right,
so
right. So
you find the candlestick handset and put it back together and give it a couple clicks and it comes to life. But it's sticky.
Yeah. I shift on it. I'm gonna call my editor or whoever, whoever I can get over there.
Okay. So you can get through the switchboard
Right.
to the editor. Says, McSweeney, where's my story?
Listen, get a camera crew, get some guys over here and give them the address right now, and then you can call the cops because you're going to see the biggest mob hit you've ever seen. I've got more members of the O'Shaughnessy family here dead in pieces. I don't know who hit them. I don't know what happened, but this will be front page news. This isn't even my story. I'm working on something even better.
I kind of bump you by the arm, Terrence, while you're on the phone, and I kind of make a significant head motion towards Tommy over there. Like, as you're sort of describing, like, get the camera crew, like, I'm like, these are his people. He might not like that.
I know. You think nobody's going to know about this?
Is Tommy, I know you're on the phone, is Tommy like listening in at this point, or is he still sort of in shock stupor?
He's
across the hall.
He'll be able to hear through the thin walls.
Yeah.
From Eddie's office.
Okay. Well,
listen, these poor bastards were murdered. And but get them over here. And I hang up. That's just kind of like,
Terrence, I don't know if that's the best move.
Somebody's gonna get pictures of this. I don't think Tommy's gonna sit there and clean up all these bodies. And the cops are gonna be all over this. And it's either gonna be the Post or the Globe. It's business.
Fair enough.
I feel bad, but let's get the Eddie the hell out of here.
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your phone call. I
understand.
Distressing. This whole thing is very distressing.
Some yell, Tommy, Driscoll's alive. Paul isn't. We need to get the hell out of here.
You hear his voice coming back through the door. Okay.
I'm really sorry, man.
Yeah.
Looks like you lost a lot of people today.
Yeah, Mr. Smalls, we got to get you someplace safe, I think. And right now I'm not sure where that is, but we got to get out of here.
Yes. There's nothing more that we can do here. looking around the whole mess.
Maybe Carter was right. Maybe I should just go to the Gavigan's house. Ask to see the older brother. What could possibly go wrong at this point?
As those words float through the cold, fetid air of this carnal house office, the stump, the shredded stump that Smalls is seeing for the first time, of Albert Gavigan's leg embedded in the wall. Right. You've seen the other side of it. You've seen the shoe part of it. But this is the back of the shoe. This is the ankle. This is the man's argyle sock and his sock garter. Right. But instead of motionless and frozen like any respectable part of a cadaver, it's struggling and wiggling as if trying to pull itself free from the wall. You can hear that heavy step and drag, Terrence, and you are hearing it for the first time, Alfred Smalls. Step, drag. You hear the weeping sound of the man in terror.
Good heavens. Good Lord. That, I pray that that's just rigor mortis, but I don't know. What's that terrible sound? Who's making that noise? Hello,
Let's get the hell
is there
out of
somebody here that we can help?
Jesus
Hello?
Christ, Smalls, shut up. Let's get the hell out of here.
But, somebody's injured. Somebody's been hurt. We must find them. Somebody made it out of this place.
You think he's been hurt?
This abattoir. He's not quite connecting rationally. Like he sees the leg moving and he's trying to call it rigor mortis and he's hearing some dragging footstep and somebody wailing in agony. So he's just, you know what I mean? He's just sort of, he's like, well, there's got to be part of his brain saying, well, there's got to be somebody here that we can save. And this whole leg wriggling in the door has got to, or the wall has got to be, there's got to be a medical explanation. It's got to be rigor mortis. It's got to be.
Let's check.
Something.
Sanity.
All right.
Are we all checking at this point?
No, there's
56 off of 58. So I have a 58 sanity and he got a 56.
there has to be some other explanation.
It's gotta be a medical explanation for this. I don't know what it is, but rigor mortis, sound waves echoing something, somebody in another apartment. Is there anybody else in this tenement house?
There is one more floor.
It must be somebody. That's it. Somebody upstairs needs our help, Terrence. Come on, everybody upstairs. We're coming. We're coming. And he's just going to hustle himself. He's in his big clumpy flat feet. He's just going to kind of stumble bump his way up the stairs to the floor on top. Are you all right? We're here. Help is here. And he'll it's as much to escape the, you know, if I find somebody up there hurt, maybe that'll help correlate the contents of my addled brain and things will start to make sense.
The corridor upstairs is exactly like it is downstairs. There's a rear door for a large office, and there's a front door for a small office, and just a hallway connecting them. There's a dingy front window to the street, and there's just a wall to the back of the building.
He won't even bother to knock. He'll go to one of the doors. He'll just try to fling it open if it's unlocked. Like, hello, is somebody hurt? Not being at all subtle. So, you know, like if there's anybody up here, they're going to hear like a rhinoceros coming yelling. Is there anybody that needs help?
There are no tenants in the large room above the consultant's office.
All right, he'll
It's
rush to
simply
the other door.
Empty room. Okay. So, you know, the whole building is shaking underfoot. This door is locked.
Pound.
It
Yeah,
rattles, in the frame.
are you hurt? Is there anybody in there? We heard you. We heard you. Is there anybody in there we can help?
Your heart is
Yeah.
pounding, and your
Yep. And where
neck is
Mickey punched me is
constricted.
aching. It's just because it's muscles are contracting and they've been punched. So it's like, oh, is there anybody in there? Pound, 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 pound with his meaty fist.
No
We're here to
response.
help.
But there is a glass frame in the glass window in the door
All right.
with
He'll go
the name of the business has been
stenciled. Yeah.
scraped
Is it like,
off.
oh, is it like frosted glass or is it like
Yeah. Frosted
all
glass.
right. All right. He'll look at his satchel of food. He'll be like, "Ah, I hate to waste this, and he'll just swing the bag of heavy,
The
crockery and
basket.
the basket and just try to smash the window enough so that he can smash it and then like reach through carefully, try not to cut his arm, but reach through and undo the door from the inside, unlock it
Inside,
and
there's
see.
just abandoned furniture, some drop cloths across some desks. There's chairs stacked upside down on other chairs. Thick coat of dust.
Doesn't make any
On
sense.
Reardon, your charge is losing his marbles up there. Let's get the hell out of here.
It must have come from the street. Must have come from the street. Must have come
Yeah,
from the street.
let's go to the street. O'Riordan is saying. Says I'm gonna get my cabbie from the end of the street.
I'm grabbing Eddie.
All right. Is there anything to salvage from the basket?
Rolls.
All right. He'll gather up the rolls, put them in the basket, and head down.
Down the stairs.
Yeah.
O'Riordan is saying, you asked your editor to call the police, so we have to.
We got to get the hell out
We
of
have
here.
to get out of here.
Yeah, don't want to get fingered for this. So listen, is there somebody else in your organization that we can go to that knows what's going on the way that the consultant did?
Well, yeah, I'm sure the old man knows, but yeah, but I'm not taking you to him.
I get it. I understand. Well then,
I'll get you someplace safe, and then I'll go check things out with the family.
all right. So where's someplace safe?
There's my antiquities store on
Jesus,
Newberry
that's
Street.
not safe. Smalls?
I've
You
got
think it's safe to
4
go there?
locks on the door. 4. And it's Newberry Street. It's a very
Did you-
polite
did-
neighborhood.
Did you see what happened to those fellows? Where I look at him like I'm like, where's the book?
It's safe. It's safe.
You're sure
Safe.
about that?
Oh, absolutely. Cross my heart. It's safe.
Where the hell is it, Smalls?
It's back at the shop. Hidden
Hidden.
behind 4 locks on the door. All this happened here. None of this happened on Newberry Street. Let's go back to Newberry Street. It'll be safer there. It's a polite neighborhood. These kinds of things don't happen on Newberry Street.
I'll have some cops. I'll have some cops come guard you. Cops I can trust.
Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I'm still a little bit addled. Alfred's just like, this is so distressing, but he does associate his little shop with sort of safety and civility and genteel customers and things like that. So, and 4 locks on the door. So he's at this point, Terrence, I don't think any place is safe for us. I think my shop is as safe as we're going to get.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Unless you've got a little hideaway in Havana or something. We've really got us. Well, we go someplace public. We could go. Someplace like the library. The Boston Public Library. That's a safe place. Of course, it's closed now for the day, but that's another place. If we stay to public places, maybe we could do that. And you know what? We can't give in to fear now. We're thinking out of fear. I'm thinking out of fear. That's not going to help us. We've got to just man up and face whatever happens.
Well,
Let's
good.
go
In
to
that-
the antique shop.
You know, Smalls, that sounds like a great idea, but you know what? Let's go there. Let's get that damn book, and then let's go to the Gavigan estate.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't wait to tell the book what happened today.
Well, Reardon comes back. Come on, the cab's waiting. Come on.
All right, let's go. Come on, Eddie.
Eddie, right, needs to be not guided, but supported. I mean, he's,
All right, yeah.
he's still suffering from his original head injury. All right.
Here, have a roll, Eddie. I'll reach in, I'll fish a roll out of the satchel.
So he kind of automatically is just chewing it
Yeah.
and swallowing it as he
Eating
gets
is-
in the cab.
Food is good medicine.
And Reardon has him as the cabbie take you to Newbury Street. Right. And the cab would, coming from this direction, basically stop near the crosswalk in front of the bakery. But he can't stop there because there are 2 police cars there and an ambulance
In front of the bakery?
in front of the bakery.
Oh, no.
And the ambulance attendants, right, are bringing bodies out on stretchers to load into the back of the ambulance, as the officers are bringing a blood-spattered Marta out of the bakery in handcuffs to be loaded into the back of the car. So the taxi kind of squirrels around them, goes around the corner a bit, and says, "I'm sorry, I have to let you out here."
That's fine. Thank you. Thank you, my good man.
What the hell happened here? I like instantly just grabbed my notepad. Officer, what happened? Press.
Please, citizen. McSweeney?
Yeah.
So he leans in and says, "I can give you a pretty interesting scoop for you."
All right, fine. I'm looking in my pockets, pulling out whatever I've got.
Okay. That really is the last of your cash.
I know, the last of my cash. Thank God, Smalls bought bought dinner.
This lady, right? This shop's been here forever. This lady, for no reason at all, suddenly kills her whole family. They're baking, cooking, She
And
says
she kills them all.
she says she had to.
She had to.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything more than that?
No, she said there was something inside them that needed to get out. So she let it out.
Oh, Jesus. I'm looking back. Have they taken her off yet?
Yeah, they're driving her off.
Yeah. No. Holy mackerel. And when this happened?
Oh, just a couple hours ago.
Good God.
So there she is at the till, spattered, still trying to serve customers. One of them finally called us.
Yeah, I bet. Holy mackerel. Smalls.
Yeah,
You knew the family, right?
I did. Yes.
That girl, what do you say? Her name was Marta, right?
Yes. Miss Marta Taranowski. Yeah. Made some fine sweet rolls.
Yeah, well, not
These
anymore.
are great sweet rolls, says the cop. I took a couple. Do you want one?
Don't mind if I do. Thank you.
And we'll close the curtain on today's session.
Get the book.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's good stuff.
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah, we have to compare notes. I know we're off the air now, so I won't go further down the rabbit hole, but Terrence and Alfred, we definitely need to get inside the shop, make sure the book's safe, and then compare some notes on things
How many,
like
how many locks are you gonna have?
4 locks.
Jesus. Goddamn 4 locks. It's got 4 locks. We need to man up and go in the shop. Go behind 4 locks.
Yep, that's right.
Oh.
Yep. Yep, that little melee out in front of the diner switched a light in Alfred, turned on a little bit of bravery. We'll see if the mouse that roared stays roaring or if he becomes a mouse again, We'll see.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I had to be nice to Tommy O'Riordan. Jesus. Oh.
Yeah, Tommy's not
Well,
so
poor,
bad.
poor bastard's been through a lot.
Yep. And Tommy's just a kid. He's only 18. So, I mean, he's someone that, Alfred thinks, here's a young guy. He's probably not had a lot of good chances in life. There may be some redemption there yet. So.
I look at people in their mid-30s and I'm like, damn, they haven't even started yet. So 18, my God.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
Mother just gave birth to you like a minute ago. Holy mackerel.
Well, that was great fun. That was a really good time.
A different tone in this installment of Turn of a New Leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Eddie.
Poor Tommy. Eddie gets knocked around all over the place. But he's at least he's still alive. That's good.
Yeah.
But it's not a good time to be a gangster in the
and I'm just and I'm just thinking to myself too. I'm just watched the video about the characters today, and so you're talking about Eddie Driscoll. Yeah, here's a guy that any of the guys could take over. I've seen him play, and I'm like, yeah, with just 4 sanity points left, yeah, sure. yeah, I want to take over Driscoll. Before he was already 42, but now he's like,
yeah,
it's all good.
I'll just say this: that Eddie Driscoll, for all he's been through, has lost less sanity than Terrence has.
I bet. That poor bastard. He's tenacious. Oh man, eek. That was cool. That
was a good time. We're definitely gonna have to compare notes. We gotta get Joe's character back in on it so we can get his perspective on all this. And I think we can go to the Gavigans. I think that's a good call. And then again, I have some ideas about other places we might want to go, but I don't want to do it out of character. I think we need to do it in character. So
that makes sense. And Jesus, poor Jesus.
Poor Marta.
Poor Marta, yeah. It was just like one of those, like, you said the wheels start spinning in Terrence's head. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad. I mean, my character Alfred gave her the book to hold on to for a little bit. So
And I just I really became very fond of Errol. Of Mr.
Yeah,
Carter.
he's a good. Hopefully, he can be maybe a recurring character, and also a potential, should the worst happen to any of us, he's another potential NPC to PC. Like he could easily, I see someone like that easily stepping into those shoes if one of us
very slowly
pays the price.
That's right.
That's right.
You know,
That's
I
right.
found myself.
Yeah.
I found myself just very protective of this guy. Here, give him some more.
Yeah.
Give him my sandwich. Poor
It's like the
bastard.
old. Do you guys remember the old? There was an old Call of Cthulhu cartoon somewhere. I don't know if it was in one of the core books or maybe it was White Dwarf somewhere. It was an old cartoon, but it showed it was like the idea that you didn't have to be the toughest investigator, you had to be the
The
fastest.
fastest.
Yeah, and there was like an investigator like in a wheelchair, and he's like speeding ahead of the others. Like he's on wheels. And he's like flying ahead of the others. It's like they're all running from something.
I don't have to be
Don't have-
faster than the monster. I just have to be
Just
faster
have to
than
be
you.
faster than you.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys had some fun with the horror.
That was a hoot. That was a hoot.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have a solo session with Joe, so
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
we can get through that. This day according to Callum McGinnis.
Yeah. And I definitely think we've got some really good leads, or some things are starting to really coalesce after the research that I did in my singular session with Alfred that Anthony ran me through, and now some of the connections that happened today when you brought up the Silver Twilight, and then you pulled the signet ring off the guy's hand. Dr. Call. I think there's a couple of avenues here that I think we can when we get together again as a group and we all compare notes. I think there's a couple of avenues there's a couple of things that might coalesce together.
Right on.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about that today too. Like, like when at work, I was thinking, like, what exactly would McSweeney do right now? This isn't Dungeons and Dragons. He's not going to go then like say, well, I have to go now find the 2 books and do the thing because that's our quest. It's like, no, I need to figure out what the hell is up with this consultant guy.
We're
Like,
all
what the hell is going on?
Yeah, we've all sort of fallen down a well of high strangeness. This is so we've got hardened gangster. Well, not just scared. I mean, destroyed, like just taken apart. So I mean, in a way, I think of Alfred. I think his whole life, or most of his life, he's always been someone that has his physicality has always put him on the back foot because of his size and his puny musculature. And now here are hardened men of violence being torn apart like paper dolls, like shredded by a terrier. And so suddenly it's sort of like, well, okay, that's not going to, suddenly physicality maybe isn't as much of a factor. So he's sort of in a kind of a backhanded kind of a way been put more on an equal footing with everybody else in this mystery, like he's we're all in this sort of uncharted territory where it's sort of the standby sort of the machismo or the stiff upper lip is for once is not going to be the sort of the law of the land or the rule of the day. So it's not like he's getting a perverse pleasure out of that, but it's certainly kind of like in the West, the gun was the great equalizer. It didn't matter how big you were. Suddenly anybody that had a pistol, it was the great equalizer, kind of like a perverse version of that, seeing the destruction wrought upon these hardened gangsters. Suddenly it's a level playing field. So what we do with that, I don't know. But
Now we realize the bagel is the great equalizer.
That's right. You can get pretty far with a satchel full of rolls.
And McSweeney, he's just like, the world works in certain places, certain ways. A lot of that's been challenged lately, both on a level of just seeing weird crap and also seeing the gangsters which run Boston scared of something else, which just should not happen.
Right.
But even more is that there's still a story here. There's not just finding out what's going on. There's still there's something there, and God damn it, I'm gonna figure out what it is.
Yeah. I can't wait to introduce you to the book too.
Yeah. Oh boy. That's
On that note,
that'll keep it
there, guys.
That'll keep it. No.
All right. Have a good
easy,
night,
guys.
gentlemen.
Take it easy.
You are mine, and you will obey.